This time of year is notorious for a spike in drink driving offences, something police take exceptionally seriously and for very good reason. Driving under the influence, as we know, can be deadly.
No one knows that better than our next guest, whose car crossed the road, smashed into oncoming traffic and killed another driver. He was drunk, but John Templeton turned his life around and is now helping others do the same.
15 years ago, on a freeway in Tampa, Florida, teenager Julie Buckner was killed by a car driven by a drunk driver, 19-year-old John Templeton.
I think about Julie and just that this is the spot where, at 18 years old, her life ended because of my choice.
After confessing to wrongdoing and being charged, John made a surprising house call.
I'm the sister of Julie Buckner. He said, I am here against my attorney's advisement. I'm here against all counsel, but I am here because I am deeply sorry.
John then began speaking out to young people, urging them not to make the same mistakes he did.
Please learn from my mistake. Don't jeopardize your life, your future. It can happen to you.
All of this before he even went to trial. The judge, Rex Barbas, found John's actions extraordinary.
He always acknowledged his guilt, and that was the very first thing I noted about him. I would say 99.99% of all the criminal cases I ever had, nobody has ever acknowledged their criminality from the very beginning of a case.
Templeton could have been sentenced to 15 years in jail, but Judge Barbas chose leniency, and 10 months later, John walked free, beginning the next chapter of his life and starting an addiction treatment centre where he still works, still carrying a memory of that fatal night.
So I still carry a picture of Julie in my wallet.
And Julie's family still support him.
It's just another part of the forgiveness story and the redemption story.
And John Templeton joins us now from Florida in the United States with a very good message. John, I understand you still carry Julie's photo in your wallet after all these years. Why do you do that?
She's part of me. Her story can't be told unless it's by me, and I just feel that by me carrying Julie's, it's carrying her message and her legacy forward as well. So what I try to do is remember her in a positive way and take something that was really bad and bring something good out of it.
It's such an incredible story. The forgiveness of her family. Take us back to that moment when you went asking for their forgiveness. What was going through your head?
In fact, I wasn't intending on seeing Jennifer, Julie's sister. I went to a church where she previously worked to see the pastor. The pastor reached out, and I was devastated. I was extremely sorry. And Jennifer walked past me. I didn't know who she was, and we looked at each other, and then my father told me that he recognized her from the funeral. And the pastor put us in a room together, and without even hesitation, I saw this woman who I caused so much harm to just 3 days earlier, and I was a 19-year-old. I felt like a young boy. I was a grown man, but I was so sorry. I was so devastated, and I was so broken, and I knew that there's a family that I hurt so bad, and I couldn't help but I didn't even really necessarily ask for forgiveness. I just told them how sorry I was, and I tried to give her as much closure as possible about everything that I could remember from that night.
John, what stands out to me is, and I admire this in you, because you've done something that a lot of people before our courts don't do. You were only 19, you found strength to ignore the lawyers, ignore everyone else, and just do what you believed in your heart was the right thing to do. And be honest, admit to it, cop guilt.
That's right. I felt my life was at a turning point. There was nothing else left to do besides do the next right thing. And to me, the next right thing was to try to reach out to this family that was broken and hurt and shattered, and just try to do the next right thing from that point on.
This accident changed your life. You went on a completely different path. You are now trying to spread the message to stop other young people from doing something like this. Is that sort of part of your redemption story?
I feel so. I feel that my life has a new purpose. I feel that I never saw that I never thought I would have this opportunity to try to be something, be useful to the community, be useful to my, my country, my state, and so yes, that's my message is to stop drinking and driving. My, foundation, my program is to help people with substance abuse, drug and alcohol problems, and I feel that I'm always, I'll never reach redemption, but I feel like I have an obligation to carry Julie's message and to try to prevent as many of these deadly drinking and driving accidents as possible.
Well, look, your message is universal, John. Believe me, we've got a terrible road toll here in Australia at the moment. You run an addiction clinic. Can I ask you briefly, where do you make the most impact and what's the most simple message you have?
So, two different stories. I guess when I feel I make the most impact when I'm able to walk into a small group of high school students, maybe some people that are high risk, that have been drinking and driving, got in trouble, and that I'm able to share my story. And I think I surprise them. I think that they may think I'm just some sort of teacher, but I'm bringing a personal experience. And I think when you look somebody in the eye, whether it's at my treatment center or somebody struggling, and you tell them that, hey, I've been where you've been, it doesn't work, and I know a better way, and I don't want you to go down that same way. I think when people see that, that honesty, that compassion, it shines through, and I think that's what has the most impact.
All right, John, thank you so much.
Good work you're doing. Thank you so much, John. And